Right, back live with you tonight here on In Focus. Like I mentioned before the break, the acting health minister, Dr. Motsoaledi, is live on the ground at the Jubilee Hospital. Of course, there have been following reports of more fatalities being reported due to the cholera bacterial outbreak in that area. Minister, good evening. Good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. 21 people reported now to have succumbed, at least in this area, with an additional one in the Free State. What are you finding on the ground as far as new cases? Are you seeing there are new cases that are being admitted to the hospital?
Good evening, Thabo. Good evening to the viewers and listeners out there. Well, we had a meeting today, Thabo, with specialists from the National Institute of Communicable Diseases, the NICD, but with also experts from the World Health Organization, led by Dr. Owen Kalua. But we also brought in the MEC for Health in Gauteng, Nomantu, Nkomo-Ralehoko, and the Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Sibongiseni Dhlomo. In our analysis of what's happening, we thought it's better to do inspection in loco, come into the hospital and see what's happening in the wards, patient by patient, and analyze exactly what could be happening. And indeed, we have done so, and we have reached our conclusions. And these are the recommendations that we have made. Number one, we believe a gastroenteric specialist from one of the teaching hospitals must come and report here, at least for a week, in order to see patients himself and give instructions, rather than very ill patients waiting to be transferred to either Steve Biko or George Mukhari Hospital. So we've been able to phone George Mukhari, and yes, a specialist will report here in the morning. The second thing, we believe most of these patients come from a place called Kanana. So from tomorrow, we want to pitch up tents there in Kanana with all the equipment for rehydration, drips and oral rehydration solution, and enough nurses and supervisors. That will start happening from tomorrow. Thirdly, we realize that results are coming here very late. I personally have seen many patients in the wards who are complaining of leg cramps, meaning that they must have lost a lot of electrolytes. But when you check when their electrolytes were measured, it's about 48 hours ago. Some of them, the results have not yet arrived. So we are arranging with National Health Laboratory Services to dedicate a special unit for blood tests that must be taken from this hospital. And lastly, Dr. Owen Kalua from the World Health Organization has agreed that they will send epidemiologists here to report in this hospital from next week, look at all the records and tell us what we are dealing with. Because Thabo, up to so far, 21 people are reported to have demised, but only 4 have been proven, actually. We know that 4 has definitely, the tests have come and they suffered cholera. The others we're still searching, and it will be important that expert epidemiologists from the World Health Organization come here to help. Basically, that's the conclusions we have reached. Inside the hospital itself, we've already pitched up a tent where we are putting equipment. Anybody who arrives in this hospital with diarrhea, go directly to that tent. But we are of the opinion that it might be very late, because some of the patients died within 30 minutes after arrival in hospital, meaning that they've been suffering rehydration for a long time, and that's why we need to go into the community and catch them right there.
Yeah. Are you at this point not recommending the president declare a state of disaster, particularly as it relates to this outbreak in Hammanskraal, as the EFF is calling for?
From what I've seen, the measures that we are trying, we need to give them a chance. We think they are enough. I'm not sure what declaring a state of disaster will achieve. As I am saying, if a specialist reported here for quite some time, he might have picked up things earlier, rather than the people who are here who are not specialists themselves deciding to send patients to a teaching hospital. That's why we reached that. But I really, from what I've seen, do not think, but I can make the final conclusion. The Minister of Health, Dr. Joe Phaahla, is arriving from Geneva tomorrow. He's going to come directly here. Maybe he will take such decisions, but from my assessment, I don't think so.
From your assessment of the facility, except for the call for the specialist and the rehydration equipment going to Kanana, is the facility capable to handle this outbreak?
Well, that's why we need help. They are not doing it alone. They've already referred a lot of patients to Steve Biko Academic Hospital and to George Mukhari itself. Those referrals have already happened, but we believe patients are referred when they are already very sick. If you have got a specialist here, he will catch it up very quickly. But this facility alone, of course, we don't think it will cope on itself. No, it won't.
And as far as the epidemiologists, what are they there to do? One of the epidemiologists has, for example, said to us here at Newzroom Afrika that the exercise of trying to locate where the bacteria comes from would be a futile exercise because this bacteria is a moving target. It would have moved already.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I am not aware that an epidemiologist has already been sent here. But the epidemiologist, the job we want them to do is to look at all the files, especially of all the patients who reported here and those who demised, and give us an advice what else are we dealing with here. I've just told you, Thabo, that the patients who have been confirmed out of all those who demised are only 4. We want to know because we might be believing we are chasing cholera when we are also chasing something else in addition or something else alone. And that's what the epidemiologists do, is to look at the pattern and characteristics and behavior of diseases and make a decision out of that. And that's why we think it's important to have epidemiologists.
Minister, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for bringing us that update there. Breaking news coming live for us at the Jubilee Hospital in Hammanskraal. The Minister acting now in the portfolio of Health, Dr. Motsoaledi, saying the Minister of Health is returning from Geneva tomorrow and will also be landing at that hospital. But from their on-site inspection, those recommendations are as follows. They recommend that a specialist be sent to Jubilee Hospital. They recommend that a camp be set up at Kanana because most of the patients that they are seeing are coming from that area. This is a camp that will have rehydration equipment, and then the results are coming late, so they want a specialized unit of the labs to be focused on this particular area and be able to churn out results at a much quicker pace. And of course, as he mentions, they'll be sending a team of epidemiologists to go and have a look there, because so far they say 4 are confirmed cholera cases, but they're not quite sure what else they are dealing with there, and they would want to study the pattern of this disease and find out exactly what's at the heart of it. That's the Minister then of Health.